loud because I don't want to put it too close to your face. So tell us what's going on today here.
Sorry. So today we're here joined together to tell city council members that we will not allow them to continue wasting our tax dollars on continuing to put these repressive laws that don't address the root cause of violence. They're trying to put these gay injunctions as a supposed way to end violence, but all we know that it'll do is it'll keep people fearing the police in the streets, fearing going out of their home, taking their folks to school, going to work, and it'll continue locking up more and more young people. Our young people, whenever we go in the classroom and we talk to them about their rights, they say that they don't believe in that because anytime that they step out in the street and they engage with a cop, the cops don't believe in their rights when they're brown, when they're black, when they're Asian in Oakland. And we don't want no cops that continue to do this kind of stuff and aren't trained to really deal with our people, don't know our people, aren't from our communities. And we want an end to the waste of our community funds that could be used to solutions that will address the root causes of violence in our streets.
So why are you here?
The reason that I'm here is because I work with a lot of young people and I live in these streets of Oakland. You know what I mean? I know that I step out on the street and I get scared every time I step outside the street, even if I'm not doing anything illegal, because just the fact that I'm brown, I'm vulnerable to police violence, and I see that happening to a lot of my young people, and I won't allow that to happen. I come from a migrant family, and for my mom to get nervous every time she's driving at night because there may be a cop following her, even though she's not doing anything wrong. She's a hardworking woman taking care of her family, trying to strive to survive in this country. That's not fair for our people. That's not fair for our young people, for our families to continue getting deported for a minor infraction, our families to continue getting separated, our people going to jail for minor infractions or 3 strikes, simple things like that, when instead, this city should be putting funds to make sure that our people have more ways to survive out in the streets. Our people wouldn't be selling drugs or engaging in violence or engaging in gangs if we had a legal way to survive, you know what I mean?
How do you think gang injunctions are going to affect you?
So like I said, the gang injunctions will increase the police ability to legally harass our people, to legally racially profile our people, and there'll be more police out in the streets. We've already seen how they go to people's houses who are innocent and go and knock down their doors, tear apart their houses without having a search warrant, but they don't need that anymore because of these gang injunctions, and it'll just give the police more ability to continue harassing our folks and killing our folks. We've already seen hella murders of cops this year alone, 2011. We're barely getting to March, and it's already been hella cop killings, you know what I mean? And I don't mean our people killing the cops, I mean the cops that are supposed to be protecting us killing our people, and I'm tired of that.
So if people want to find out more information, where can they find out more information?
So we have a website, it's stoptheinjunctions.word.press. They go on that website and they can find out what are their rights, what are the gang injunctions, what are the ways to get involved in the things that we're doing. March 8th, they need to come out here to City Hall. If they're not already here right now, they need to come on March 8th. And if they are here already, they need to come again on March 8th, because that's when the safety committee is going to decide whether the gang injunctions are going to be deauthorized or authorized. And we're hoping that through the power of the young people, through this week of action, they'll understand that the community are not for these gang injunctions, and we hope that these elected officials that we elect make the right decisions for the people of Oakland.
Any last words for the youth?
I think the young people have a lot of sense and they don't need no words. Unfortunately, if the young people were running this city, then we wouldn't have these problems. So I think that the young people just need to get encouraged to continue doing what they're doing. They know what they're doing.
Thank you very much.
With all the youth to show that we do have power and we're here to stop the gang injunctions. We don't want, our communities to get affected by this, which they already are. They're trying to imprison more of our people, and we're not going to let that happen. They're trying to push us out of our community, and we're not going to let that happen. We were here first, and we're going to stay here. We're here to live forever, and we're trying to make things right for our community.
So what do you know about the gang injunctions?
I know, the gang injunctions, it's supposed to be about violence. They're supposed to stop gangs, but in reality, what they're doing is they're gentrifying our streets. They're criminalizing our streets, making house pricing go up, making it harder for us to stay in our communities. It's only giving cops more of an excuse to racially profile our people. Not just that, but all the money that's getting put into this, they can be using it to education. They really want to stop the violence and get our people off the streets. Then let's get more youth programs. Let's get better funded schools.
So what do you want to say to the people that aren't here today?
I want to tell people out there that it's really important that they hear both sides of a story. You know, people think that we're out here supporting criminals, supporting gangs, but that's not what we're out here. We're here to put our solutions to the table, so I really want to let people know that, you know, they really need to look at all sides of the story.
What are some solutions that you would recommend?
I would recommend, you know, better funded schools, and not just that, but better youth programs, not just youth programs for us, but ran by us, because we know what's best for our communities. We know what works for us. We know how to keep each other on check.
Any last words that you would want to say to the other youth that are out here protesting?
To keep it up and really show youth empowerment, and we're doing it big, we're doing it live, and I feel the energy is just great, and it's big, and you know, just keep it up.
Right on. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So why are you here today?
I'm here against the gang injunctions, which I believe is just another part of gentrification, because they don't want us in our community, because we're working class and they're trying to raise prices on housing, which really makes it harder for us to pay our housing, and which eventually would make us move.
And so why is it important for people to know about this gang injunctions?
It's important because it's our community and we need to be involved. This gang injunction was done without even the council knowing. It was done sneakily, and nobody knew about it until we started organizing.
Right on. And so how did you get involved?
I got involved because I heard about it. I was being informed, and I'm like, no, that's messed up. Not only because you're a gang member, but just they're targeting youth. Like, just because you're wearing a white shirt or a black tee, they're gonna stop you, take your rights away, and just arrest you. And that's the worst thing you could do, is take someone's right away.
So how do you feel about the gang injunction overall? Do you think you have other ideas that people could do instead of gang injunctions?
Well, yeah, one thing they could do, instead of funding the gang injunctions, fund education. Our schools are poorly funded. They could fund programs that are run by youth, like a good program, I don't know, East Side Art Alliance, that's good. More programs like that, and not just that, but organizations that help the youth, not only economically, but mentally. Like, if they're going through problems, to talk to them.
Right on. What do you want to say to the other youth who aren't here?
The youth, well, they're not here. We're fighting for them anyways. If they're not here, it don't matter, because we support them. We support all youth.
Right on. So, any last words?
Well, my last words is we're gonna stay fighting for our rights. No matter what it is, they disrespect our civil rights, we're there.
Right on. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
You gonna ask me something?
Yeah, so what are you doing here today?
I'm here in support of the people to address these politicians. I'm a musician, but this is bigger than music. This is the legwork. This is the behind the scenes. This is what happens outside of music. And we're marching. I'm marching with the people to address about the gang injunctions. Not just the gang injunctions, but we know that it's connected to a larger issue with immigration, with ICE, no jobs, with the economy, with what's going on all over in third world countries. It's all connected to one struggle.
Word. And so how do you feel about the gang injunctions? What do you know about the gang injunctions?
What I know about the gang injunctions is a list of over 40 individuals that the OPD thinks are the most dangerous gang members in Oakland. And so they, like what's happening in Southern California, are implementing that in Northern California to supposedly cure this violent epidemic that's going on. But I understand that it's connected to a larger issue. Of course, there's definitely drugs, violence, gun violence happening in our community, but I understand the push and pull factors, the root causes to that. And in all reality, a lot of those individuals, they're old now. They're not even around no more. So the reality is that the gang injunction information is old data. It's a bunch of old information, and it's really a joke. They're spending a lot more money on that. This guy, John Russo, like Ignacio de la Fuente, the two most outspoken politicians for the gang injunction, are both looking for other jobs outside of Oakland already. So who are these people that are supposedly trying to put this gang injunction out? And where are they? Why are they trying to leave? Is it just that they're trying to make a name for themselves? Is it that they're just in it for the money? What are they really in it for? And so I think in all reality, if we want to pass any kind of law, they need to come out here with the people and talk, not have meetings behind private walls. This is the beginning of it. It's a conversation of the people and politicians. It's a joke. When we were marching these streets, it was over like 15, 20 police officers in cars and another 10 in bikes. And then you had 2 up in the air. So a lot of these guys are getting paid to just sit around anyways. That's injustice already. When a lot of teachers, a lot of case managers and outreach workers are being dropped and fired left to right due to budget cuts.
Word. How do you think this is going to affect the youth real quick?
Well, I think in all the mentality, you know, the young people are the next generation. So right now they're John Does. Right now they're associates. Right now they're family members of older siblings who are in it. So they're going to easily be brought in to the gang injunction. And that's what I feel about that. There was a few individuals who were on the gang injunction that actually were 18-year-old high school students. So, I mean, it's affected them in so many different ways. Like I said, a lot of their older siblings are on it, their families, and, you know, it's just another way to target them and criminalize them. And it affects the young people like it affects older people. It's connected to a larger issue of injustice in our community.
What do you want to say to the people who aren't here today?
Well, I just want to tell people that Oakland is here. Oakland has a voice. It's a lot of stuff that's being put on the news as far as Oakland gun violence and gang violence, but Oakland is strong. Oakland is firm. There's a lot of gentrification where individuals and families are moving out of Oakland for the main reason of not being able to afford to live in Oakland. But Oakland is here and will be here. And Oakland has been known to be a city of talent, a city of energy, a city of organizing, and it continues today.
Word. Well, right on. Thank you very much. Any last words?
No last words. No justice, no peace.
Word. So tell me why you here
with
today.
A camera.
Tell me why you here today.
Hey, what's going on?
So tell me why you're here today.
Hey, I'm here because I don't want them to surrender the streets. I don't want to see people surrender their constitutional rights, or free speech, assembly, or any of that other stuff. The gang injunction seemed to be a preemptive strike. It's like putting people on probation without a trial. You know, I think it is an attack on young people of color. And if I'm out here to support them to make sure they can have the same degree of freedom and the same degree of rights as anybody else in society.
Why is it important for you to make everyone else aware about what's going on with the gang injunctions?
Because if they start with the young, they'll eventually get around to my ass. And I don't, excuse me, if they start with the young, they eventually get to me. So I think it's an attack on the entire community. I think that we got a tendency to surrender the young much too easily.
Word. What do you got to say to the youth that are out here today?
Just keep up the fight. Keep up the fight. If they start capitulating to them right now, they'll be capitulating to them for the rest of their life.
What is one thing you know? What is something you know about the gang injunctions already?
I know they ain't never considered the Hell's Angel a gang. I know that they haven't considered white people who are gangs. I believe the Ku Klux Klan can come in this community and wouldn't necessarily have an injunction.
So you think it's racially?
I know it is. I know it's racially motivated. When the last time you heard of them doing this to anybody that was white?
Other than people of color.
So like, do I think it? No, I know it. I mean, the statistics of who they have classified as gangs inside of the United States. When have you ever heard of them saying that the Ku Klux Klan didn't have the right to assemble? When have you ever heard that the Ku Klux Klan didn't have the right of freedom of speech? When did you ever hear the Ku Klux Klan didn't have the right of movement? You know, when have you ever heard that they can put somebody on lockdown at 10 o'clock at night in the United States that wasn't on probation? You know, so, yeah, I know it's racially motivated.
And so, what do you want to say to the people who aren't here today?
Shame on you for not standing up for young people. Shame on you for not protecting the community. Shame on you for allowing a city manager to determine when can young people gather and not gather. And shame on you for getting how it feels to be young.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay.
The gang injunction! We got sound.
Mic check.
So why are you here today?
We're here today because we're tired of all the police repression. We're tired of all the violence in our communities. And today, young people left their schools. Young people marched throughout the safety zone to really put out a statement that we need to stop these gang injunctions. We wanted to put out a message loud and clear to the city attorney, John Russo. We wanted to put a message loud and clear to De La Fuente and all the people that had came out in support of the gang injunctions, and to let them know that young people, families, and community organizers and residents of Oakland do not want this gang injunction. We are all opposed to violence, as it was evident at the Public Safety Committee meeting, where we were like, people were saying that they didn't want violence, but this is not the way. This is an ineffective strategy that has been proven ineffective for a really long time. And today, we are saying that we don't want this attack on the backs of black and brown youth, on the attack on the backs of people of color, of communities of color, who have been faced with so many attacks for decades.
So how is this going to affect the youth?
Well, you know, it's funny that there's been a lot of literature that the city attorney's office has distributed around how this is not going to affect young people and how this is not racial profiling. But what we're seeing is that, you know, a lot of young people are going to be affected by this. We've seen it in the reports and studies that have happened throughout California that have been around since the 80s. And we've also known that, you know, more police in our communities is going to target more young people. We also know that, you know, although maybe the people on the list are 18 and over, there's a lot of young people that maybe don't look 18 or do look 18, you know, that are going to be targeted. And also we asked we actually asked for a request of public records of what is the criteria to categorize somebody as a gang member. And what they said was they had to fit at least two of a list of 9. And in that list included living in a gang area, wearing gang colors, and those two just enough tells us that racial profiling will happen.
And what are some of the things that you guys are doing just to try to stop this? I know this is a day here, but what are some other things that you guys are doing?
Well, for us is to make sure that the community is educated, right? So we had a whole week of actions. We started on Monday with a press conference. On Tuesday, we had a bike ride. On Wednesday, we had teach-ins throughout the city in high schools and middle schools and even jornalero centers to make sure that the community knows how this is going to criminalize our communities, because, you know, a lot of the language that's put behind why to support it is really contradicting, and it's really a way to really change people's minds. So Thursday we had a vigil to really denounce violence in our communities, and today we took the streets, we protested, and we're here. We're expecting thousands of people to show up. We did over 1,500 phone calls. We called out organizations. We have students. We have families. We have so many people, and so we hope a lot of people turn out in opposition of the gang injunctions. And in the end, we want the city council to deauthorize the funding towards this gang injunction because we know it doesn't work. So we're fighting this in the courts. We're also fighting this in the city level, and we're also fighting this on the streets.
How does the community feel right now? Do they feel safe? Do they feel like this is really going to be a big threat right now, or are there people hiding, or
Man,
like people are getting really scared?
This is a huge threat for our community because we have, like I already mentioned, we've gone through so much in our community. I was born and raised in Oakland, and I'm only 25 years old. There's people that are older than me that are talking about, man, we're suffering the same stuff. So we need to be able to put a stop to it. And it's really happened when communities get together and organize and stop something like this. We know that just this year on the first month of January 2011, by the end of January 2011, there was 12 murders by Oakland Police Department in the city of Oakland. So with that, we don't want those killer cops in our communities. Our communities are being terrorized. Just in the serving of the injunction, homes are being raided, and so we will not allow that to happen on our time.
What about if the cops get an injunction?
That's exactly what we're talking about. We need an injunction on police. We need an injunction on poverty. If so many of the reasons why even gangs exist or even violence exists in our community is because there is not enough services in our community. There is not enough jobs. People don't have health care. So many people are living in poverty, and we talk about people. There's people that are homeless, but there's also so many people that are suffering just to put enough food on their table. My family, my dad works 2-3 jobs, you know what I'm saying? And that's the reality for a lot of people here in Oakland. So we need to make sure that we really educate our communities, and everybody understands this. Everybody knows that this is happening. So what we need is an injunction on poverty, and put those $2 million that they've spent, those almost $1 million in North Oakland, and put those to really address the root causes of violence.
Where can people find out more information? And one last question: what if it does pass? Are you guys ready for that too?
Well, you know what? A lot of people are asking that, and I think the gang injunctions issue is part of a larger issue, right? This is a old strategy, but a similar attack, right? And this attack in our communities is the same thing that happened with Johannes Messerly. Is the same thing that's happening when our schools are defunded. It's the same thing that's happening when our teachers are getting cut off. So what we want everybody to know is that this is not gonna be the end. That we're gonna continue to stop this. We know that this is the preliminary phase, and we really want to fight to not have it even be implemented at a preliminary level. But there's still gonna be the permanent level. And even if that even were to pass, which we know it won't pass because our hearts are in here and because our passion is here, because our voices are loud, then we will try to stop it even then.
Right on. Thank you very much. Any last words?
We're good. I think I said a lot. Right on.
Thank you.
What show is it?
KPFA. We're going to be on.
To draw attention to the issue of priorities. Prioritizing policing and imprisonment over community programs and quality education will not bring us safety. Stable employment, affordable housing, meaningful after-school programming, and access to healthcare will. These are our priorities. Through our collective power, we are resisting the gang injunctions. We have raised awareness about the harmful impacts of gang injunctions through teach-ins and workshops at schools and community centers across the city of Oakland. We have challenged the notion that we don't care about violence in our communities by creating safe spaces for our youth and healing spaces to remember those that we have lost. We have mobilized our communities, we have prevented new injunctions from simply being steamrolled ahead, and we have made our presence known by packing the Public Safety Committee meetings not once, but 3 times. And we will continue showing our strength in our numbers. All of this is not possible without being organized. This week as a whole, this rally, the fact that City Attorney John Russo hasn't proposed any further injunctions, the fact that City Council member Nadell came out publicly at the last Public Safety Committee meeting against the gang injunctions, and all of the victories that are sure to come in the future have not and will not come without us, community members, coming together finding common ground, determining for ourselves what our neighborhoods need, strategizing, and working together to make it so. In the many meetings and conversation with youth, our elders, those enjoined, lawyers, teachers, other youth workers, and folks from all across Oakland, we have created the following demands. We demand a stop to the injunctions and all police violence. We demand community self-determination because we know what our communities need and we have our own solutions. We demand defense of immigrant communities, which means no more deportations, no collaboration with ICE. We demand affordable housing and stable employment and stopping gentrification of our communities. And last but not least, we demand accountability from city government and increased decision-making power for all Oakland residents. We make these demands because we know that police cannot solve the social, economic, and political problems that are truly the root causes of violence in our communities. We know we cannot depend on the same group of people that harass, brutalize, and instill fear in our communities to come around and make it safe. We join together to fight because there have been too many Gary King Jr.'s, too many Oscar Grants, because one is too many, and this year alone there have already been 12 people killed by the police. How can John Russo, how can the city council, how can they expect us to look to the police to feel safe when it is them who shoot down our neighbors, our brothers, and our friends? We can't, and we won't, so we come out here and we go to organizing meetings and we go to the city council and we fight. We fight because we know self-determined communities are stable communities. We fight because we will not tolerate the criminalization of people of color. We fight because together we are stronger. We fight because this is our Oakland and we have our own solutions. Thank you.
Give it up for Whitney, y'all. Thank you, thank you. If anyone needs translation, please see Aaliyah and Kati over here. Can y'all just raise your hand? Thank you. So if you need translation, feel free to go over there. There's also some children's activities on the grass back there if you need that. So one thing that Whitney... Huh?
Say that about the translation in Spanish.
So one thing about that Whitney talked about... Oh, could you...
Si alguien ocupa traducción en español, por favor pasen con Katy y Alía. Tienen la mano levantada aquí de ese lado. Si necesitan traducción en español, ahí se les proveerá.
City Council, right? They were all invited, and we can see that none of them are here. Know that we're out here. So how y'all doing out there? Man, let me start off by saying that I am so proud of all the youth that came out here with us today. We walked miles from the Fruitvale all the way out here. So how does that make you guys feel? That makes me feel great. It makes me feel like I have power, and I have the power to change just how all youth has the power to change. You know, this gang injunction to me, it's not about stopping violence. It's not about stopping gangs. It's about them trying to push us out of our communities, them trying to shut us down, us as youth. You know, we need to be out here, show them that they can't shut us down. We know who we are. We know how to fix ourselves. They can't tell us what to do. They can't be puppeting us anymore. It's time for us to cut off our strings and show them who's boss. Show them who's really running these streets. They want to stop violence? Okay, then how about they give us more money for schools? They give us more money for youth programs. That will stop the violence. I guarantee it. You know, we have a deficit of $24 billion in the education system. No, we won't allow it. You know, they really want to stop the violence, then let's get more school funding. You know, who would want to go to a school and expect for students to learn when they don't get the right materials to do so? Who would want students to stop running these streets when they don't get the motivation, the encouragement, the power that they need to really stop what they're doing? You want to stop crime? Then let's start at the root cause. one of the people that I work with, they told me, you know, council meeting members are going to be here, so, you know, you got to watch out what you say. But obviously they're not here. So we need to let them know that, you know, we are here because we care for our communities. They're supposed to represent us, but they're not doing that. By them not showing up over here, what does that prove to us? That they don't care? That they don't care about us? That they just want to put us in more prisons? That they just want to, you know, push us out of our community? No, we're not going to let that happen. We're not going to let the police keep criminalizing our streets. We're not going to let them take us into prisons. We're not going to let them take our money and use it for their benefit. They're going to use our money for our benefit because we work hard for it. Once again, I want all the youth that's up here to scream and make noise because we have power and we are going to stop these gang injunctions. And if they don't, then we'll just get even more people up here.
Mic check one.
Let's give it up
Mic
for
one.
Stephanie. Give it up.
Hey, how y'all doing out there, man? First of all, I want to thank all the high school students that came out here and marched all the way from Fruitvale. I got a little scenario for you guys, all right? I'm coming home with my wife right there. She's right there with my baby and my mom. We're coming home from the function, you know, a family function. You know, I like to eat. We probably ate some pozole or something, you know. It's about 11 o'clock. You know, we get pulled over in the Fruitvale district coming home. And I want to tell you guys, what you guys think the police is going to do to me after 10 o'clock, our so-called curfew? They say that there's exceptions and stuff, but I want to tell you guys what you think they're going to do. Exactly, they're going to take my ass to jail. You know why? Because they don't give a fuck. I'm going to tell them, I just came from a family function. You guys see my family? They're going to be like, all right, you're going to jail, dude. Lock me up, take me to jail, and maybe I'll get out, but I'm going to jail that night. They keep talking about these exceptions from jobs and from community services and from family functions. You guys think they're gonna live up to that shit? You guys think they're gonna do that? Huh? They're shooting us in our back, unarmed. You think they're not gonna take me to jail for violating the curfew, for coming home from my party? Man, you guys need to fund education, fund Eastside Arts Alliance, fund the bikery. Pat Kernahan last couple weeks ago said there's millions and millions of dollars that they're putting into programs in the community. Where's that money at? Cause I don't see it in the Fruitvale. Where's that money going? Where's Measure Y right now? Where's CYL? Where they at?
They ain't with us.
Where they at? They're not here. They're supposed to be helping us. Man, stop the gang injunctions, man. I love y'all, man.
For community self-determination. We stand up for education and job training and safety centers, not more police and not more past risk. And let me say that we are also standing up in defense of immigrant communities. That Oakland, the city we inhabit, maintain its commitment to be a sanctuary city for immigrants. The gang injunction is another example of using methods that involve policing and imprisonment to solve serious social problems that can only be realistically addressed through overhauling major institutions in our communities. I think we all know that violence is a serious issue. It is a very serious issue. But gang violence is linked to the structural violence of our educational system.
There we go.
It is linked to police violence, for which Oscar Grant remains an enduring symbol. It is linked to the continued condoning of violence against women. that is linked to violence against LGBT communities, especially violence against trans men and women and gender-conforming people. So let us today congratulate the coalition of students and teachers and parents and lawyers and former prisoners and community members who reject the notion that increased policing and imprisonment lead to public safety. The coalition demands that this city reallocate the funds that have been directed towards the injunctions to services and programs that have been cut, jobs and education and physical, mental health care, food programs, affordable housing. Mayor Kwan and the City Council can stop the injunctions. We insist today that they replace gang injunctions with the kinds of programs and services from education to jobs that will promote healthy communities with a vibrant future. Stop the gang injunctions now.
Opportunity to come speak, spit a couple game at you about what we did in San Francisco, and while we also are in solidarity with you guys here in Oakland and all over, wherever gang injunctions or any other type of repressive tactics are trying to be used as band-aid solutions for our communities. So like I said, my name is Gustavo Lopez. I fought against the gang